I'm going to start off this video with perhaps the boldest claim I have ever made in a Star Wars figure review. This is the best 3 3/4 inch action figure Hasbro has ever made. It is. It simply is. That is because of the modern engineering upgrades, as well as the fact that it comes with so many accessories. The likeness is amazing, the paint is amazing, the accessories are also amazing, and you get plenty of them, as I said. Do we have to pay for this figure being the best out of all of them? Yes, we had to pay. This is a deluxe, so it was like $28 for not even everything you see here, because you don't get the full Stormtrooper figure. I just already have swapped the head. But you do get a couple little flame effects. So it is deluxe, just like the 6-inch Black Series version, but you do get more. You get 2 Stormtrooper helmets and you get jetpack effects. And those, in my opinion, make this way more worth it. But it is about, $13 above normal vintage collection retail. $13 to $15 more. It's almost twice as much as a normal TVC figure. Is it worth twice as much? Almost. Like I said, it is simply amazing. This is an absolutely revolutionary figure. Just as Commander Gree and the ARF Troopers were revolutionary with having the wrist hinges and the hip joints that moved outward, as those were the innovators of their time, this Boba Fett will be, in my opinion, the staple for what we will see moving forward. Is it the first figure to feature the ball-jointed hips? It's not. Bo-Katan had them, Death Watch Mandalorians had them, Queel even had them, some other newer figures have had the ball-jointed hips, but I feel like this figure has perfected the modern formula of 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figures. This is simply, as I've said, the best. I feel like everything that it does and everything that it is has made this the best one. Will it remain the best? I hope not. I hope they take what this figure has evolved and has evolutionized. I know it's basically the same word. I hope it takes the innovations of this figure. That's the word I was really looking for. I hope it takes the innovations that this one has and moves it along and makes it even better and greater. In my opinion, this is the current one to beat. This is the one to beat, the one to aspire to be. Like I said, it's a deluxe. We had to pay for it. But strip away some of the bells and whistles, and I still feel like it is the best 3 3/4 inch figure ever made. Now, with that introduction and that being said, let's just get into it. So, you do have the box. It is a deluxe style package, so it's a closed box, kind of akin to the animals and everything we saw with original vintage Kenner stuff. I love the little almost sticker looking thing on the back. It's kind of like, hey, Boba couldn't fire his rocket in the original action figure, but this one kind of can. On the side you see the Stormtrooper helmets, on the other side you see Tamora Morrison's face, and on the back, you get a nice overview of everything you get, as well as that same picture. I think it's a nice package. It's totally plasticless, which I do appreciate. I don't think actual vintage carded figures should be packed like this because it defeats the purpose. But I feel like it's a nice package. I like it. I think it's good for what it is. I think for the deluxe, I think it's an awesome idea. But will I keep it? I can't store it flat like a normal TVC card, and it doesn't really have artwork or a picture on it, so I don't know if I will. But box aside, what we're left with is an awesome figure of an awesome character. Some people may argue with that after the Book of Boba Fett show, because he wasn't as cool as he used to be, but I do feel like the character progression and the actual story arc of Boba Fett really added to the character, in my opinion. I really loved the Tusken history and the flashbacks. I loved how he was like trying to find a family, because Boba, the only family he ever knew, he saw get decapitated. So, and he never had that family connection with the other clones. He resented them. So I think that storyline actually was a very good one. But show aside, look at this thing. Freaking look at it. The posability, the articulation, the accessories, the paint. it's perfect in almost every way. Speaking of those accessories, let's get those out of the way. So with his jetpack, you can see it looks very nice. It's very nicely painted and everything. You can pop it off. Looks good. You do have the rocket that you can take out, which I do have a little complaint with this. It looks awesome when you take it out, but you don't really have a way to set it in there like it's taking off. It'll just kind of fall back in. The only thing I've kind of found is if you wedge it between his back and the jetpack, it kind of looks like it is, but from other angles you can kind of see what has happened. So that's the only real issue I have. That's actually one of the only issues I have with this entire figure. You do also have, like I said, the jet effects. You can peg those into the thrusters. It's very firm, so I'm not going to do it on both. Actually, I'll do it on both. I got to show you. I'm not even doing it all the way. They do slot in very securely because it's a mushroom peg. But once you get it in, they're in there. I don't worry too much about getting them in right now, but they definitely do stay well. So yeah, that's really nice looking. I do wish you had a flight base because I think you look really cool flying. See, that's what I get for not putting it in all the way. Yeah, he'd look really cool if he was flying up with those thrusters. I think that looks really nice. So let's get those out. You heard that nice audible pop when I took that out. They're very secure. You do get the 2 Stormtrooper helmets, which they would make more sense for Nomad Fett, but I do think it's cool that you get them here. So they do, obviously, as you can see, pop on to the Vintage Collection Stormtrooper body. But you get one bashed on the left and one bashed on the right. I think they both look really nice. I love the detail. I love the design. This one, the mouth, is kind of painted off from the sculpt, but come on, it's bashed to hell. It probably got knocked out of place. Those look really cool. And I do have it right here, just so you can see how it looks next to the normal undamaged Stormtrooper. Looks really good. I really do like that. Those are really nice accessories. And as you saw, he can hold them too, so he looks really cool doing that. On his person, he has his rifle, which looks the part, has a really nice paint to it. Looks very deluxe, in my opinion. Thing is, like, yes, he is deluxe, but he is deluxe. His pistol, I really like the design of that. Not a lot of detail to it, but it doesn't really need a lot. It's just a little pistol. I do love all the little detail along his belt. All the little ammo pouches and everything. He's just loaded with detail in general. But the thing that impressed me the most is what's under that helmet. Take this off. Look at that Tamora Morrison likeness. That is insane. I believe Vintage Collection is getting to the point where I can say they are starting to look like super tiny mini Hot Toys. They are getting that good. Now, you may think, oh, it's not as good as a Hot Toys. No, it's not, because Hot Toys are 1/6 scale. At that scale, they can do a lot more. I think at this scale, at this budget, at this price point, I don't think you can really get much better than this. I just don't. I don't think it can get much better than this, and I love it. This is an amazing head sculpt. I love how it's more healed. He's not as damaged because this is the Boba Fett version. I think it just looks absolutely superb. And the articulation with or without the helmet is really good because he has a double ball at the neck, so he gets so much range. So yeah, he comes with a ton. One other minor complaint I do have is because the helmet is removable, there is no movable rangefinder. I do feel like they could have tried to fit that in, but it would have also looked a little awkward. Like it would have jutted out a little bit. It wouldn't look as nice. I do miss it though. I do wish he had the movable rangefinder, but it's still basically that and the thruster are like my only complaints with this figure. Other than that, man, this feels like this is hand candy, man. This is hand candy. Like my hands love moving it. Like, let's just talk about the articulation. Let's get that gun out of his hand. So he's got the very nice dumbbell joint at the head there. His shoulders move up and they move forward so nice and smooth. The shoulder pad's a softer plastic, so it gets out of the way very nicely too. His elbow, look at how deep his elbow goes. Look at that. That's insane for a single elbow. And the pipes, the tubes are really nice and long, so you don't have to be worried about breaking those just by moving him. His wrists, man. His wrists. You do have to work with them just a little bit, but look at how much they bend. They bend so much. That's for both of them. The torso is nuts. This is on a ball joint. Look at that crunch. How have you ever seen a 3 3/4 inch figure with a crunch like that? And look at that backward. Look at this tilt. This is insane. This is awesome. The articulation is nuts. And then these hips. They move out pretty good. But look at how far you can get them moving forward. Look at that. It's above 90 degrees. You have a thigh swivel. You've got a pretty decent knee bend. It goes about 90. And the ankles, too. They go back really far, but one thing that always makes a figure good. They can go forward just enough. Just enough, man, to get some really good poses. And some ankle tilt, too. So, with all that, you do also have a boot swivel, which also helps. With all of this articulation. And the soft goods, too. It adds so much to it. Adds so much. With all this articulation and all this detail, like I said, I think this is it. I think this is the best. I feel like I got a little flake of like plastic or something on my finger. I think this is the peak. This is the current peak of 3 3/4 inch action figures for Hasbro. One accessory he was missing though, the gaffy stick. If you have Tusken Raiders, you've got a gaffy stick. So it's not that big of a deal. It's not an exact match. It's not as long as it should be. But still, if you have Tusken Raiders, and I would hope you do because they just released one, you have a gaffy stick. So it's not that big of a deal. And also, I don't even think they would have really known that this version of Boba carries it around too much. Because he only really had it in the season finale. It's pretty much the only time he used the gaffy stick with this armor. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really think they would have known that, oh, in the season finale he uses the gaffy stick very iconically, because I don't think they would have wanted to give that away. So, I expect the gaffy stick with a vintage collection version of Nomad Boba, but for this I can understand why he didn't. But honestly, if they would have known, I think they probably would have thrown it in. One nice thing, though, if you want, you can wedge a gaffy stick in between the jetpack and his back, and, oop, didn't push that in all the way, so it just like flew out. You can actually wedge it just enough so you can't actually have it on his back like he did in the show. That's actually how I'm going to display mine. That looks really cool. I love it. Dude, this figure is so nice. It's so nice. I'm not going to make a very detailed and thorough comparison with this figure I'm about to bring in because it's not the exact same version of Boba Fett. But I did say I was going to do this, and I want to do it at least briefly here. There is the actual Morak Boba Fett coming out here soon, so expect it then. But this is Kickapoo Ninja's custom version of the repainted Boba Fett from The Mandalorian, not from Book of Boba Fett, using the Return of the Jedi Boba, which is an older figure, which is an inferior figure. But I just want to bring this in to say, like, honestly, they're look-wise very cool. The Kickapoo Ninja Custom is a darker green. I do prefer this shade of green. I feel like it matches better with what we see. But honestly, I'm really happy to have both of these. Even though we will actually get a proper figure of this will forever have a very proud spot in my collection. I've got a whole area of different Boba Fetts. He'll go right with them. But yeah, man, this Book of Boba Fett from TVC. It's a testament to what can be done. I can actually equate this to a Transformers figure. Let me mention Studio Series Hot Rod. So if you don't know Transformers, there's different size classes. They were originally size classes. So Deluxes were about 5 inches, Voyagers were about 6 to 7 inches, and Leader class are like, 9 to 11 inches depending. There's different sizes, but Hasbro decided to make it different price points. So they made a Deluxe figure, the small size, a Voyager, the medium size, with Hot Rod. And that figure, because they allowed for more budget, they were able to throw in more accessories. They were able to add tons of engineering. They essentially made it nicer than the $100 masterpiece. In my opinion, that's a similar case to what's happened here. They've upped the budget, so not only were they able to include all these accessories, all the alternate helmets and blast effects and everything that we know for a fact we would not have gotten with a standard TVC figure. We would not have gotten the rocket that comes out. That would just not have happened. We would have gotten Boba, the helmet, pistol, gun. That's what we would have gotten. And I feel like the deluxe price, well, I do feel like the price is a little high for what it is. I would have liked to see this at 24, 25 tops. I think 28's a little high. I am so happy with this, and I feel like for what it is just so well made. I can't even complain. They have justified it being a deluxe more than a standard figure. They have made it quite exceptionally well. Like I said, I believe it's the best 3 3/4 inch figure we have gotten yet, period, hands down. It's the best. I would not like to see this price point continue for every single freaking figure. Unfortunately, they've done something similar with the Dark Trooper, and it's even like more expensive, I think. You know, I understand it for some. I think it's a good idea for some, and I would like to see it more, but I wouldn't like it to be the norm. Basically, if we go back 15 years, we spent $25 to $28 for 5 3 3/4 inch action figures in a battle pack. Now we are paying for one and enough accessories to maybe add up to another. It's unfortunate, but that is the reality of what we're living in, and in my opinion, I feel like this figure was worth it. I feel like it's worth it. Do I recommend it? 100 freaking %. It is a revolution. It is an innovation. It is remarkable. It feels amazing. It looks amazing. It does so many amazing things. Is it perfect? It is not. If they would have given him the movable rangefinder and with the power of hindsight would have known to include the gaffy stick, it would have been perfect. But other than that, man, I mean, look at this thing. Look at it. Look at this. Look at this Boba freaking Fett here. Look at this. Is this my favorite 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figure? It's up there. It's definitely up there. It's definitely my favorite Boba Fett. I can tell you that. But do I consider it the best? Absolutely. This is absolutely the best. This is Hasbro's peak. Why am I struggling to stand him so much? There we go. Look at that. Look at this. That is the peak. This is what is to be matched. And we'll just have to see with figures moving forward if Hasbro is capable of matching this, or at least living up to it at the standard price point. Fingers crossed. I'm really looking forward to the Morak Boba. I would really love to see the re-armored Fett with all the weathering. That would be amazing. I would actually love to see that deluxe too. Maybe give him like the knee rockets and maybe like a bigger jetpack of blast effect where it looks like it's actually shooting off, gonna go for the transports. I'd love it, but we'll see. Alrighty guys, there we go. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, please. Do you consider this the best 3 3/4 inch Hasbro figure ever? If not, let me know which one you think is tops. In my opinion, this is definitely tops, 100%. Yet, of course, yet to be beaten. It just came out. But the only one that I can think that comes close is Bo-Katan. And that's because she's very recent and also came with a lot of cool stuff. And she also had the ball jointed hips. But I feel like with what this does, it's just amazing. I've rambled long enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. Special shout out to the patrons of Patreon. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. Alrighty guys, there we go. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.